Hi, I decided to do my video on Dixie area detention here in southern Utah. What I was expecting to see was not what we got. I was expecting to see something along the lines of a children's home. I thought that they would have beds that were not plush, but probably more like a cot, like a military use. I thought that the detainees would leave the facility and go to school, and that's would be their outing for the day. What I learned from this visit was that when the children are brought into the detention center, they are strip searched. And that just happens right off the bat. They don't have any time to prepare themselves. They just walk in and that's what happens. The children used to deny visitors because they thought that they would have strip searches after. And to avoid having that happen after every visit, the kids just decided to not have visitors, period, at all. They just didn't want to deal with getting strip searched. The detention centers decided to move away from the strip searches and to allow the children to have visitors, to make them want the visitors, to make them want to see their families. And the kids have to sleep on this cement slab. It's not a bed, it's not a cot, it's a cement slab. And they get this small pad that they can put on top of that. And in their rooms, they are allowed to have 3 books. And they can't have anything more than those 3 books. I mean, once they're done with those books, they can cycle through into other books, but it's those 3 books. They are supposed to stay out of their rooms all day and are only allowed to go in there when they're going to sleep. The detention center does this because they don't want the kids to be up all night when they have to get up early for school, which brings me to the next subject. The kids go to school in the same building. They just walk down the hallway and their classroom's right there. That was a little weird to me. I thought that they left the detention center. I thought that they went to school with the other students. I didn't know that they were kept separate. There are a mix of kids in the schools. It is not just, oh, 8th graders are in this class and 7th graders are in this class. They're all in the same classroom together. So as the teacher has to work around all of those students at the same exact time. So they're going to all be at different levels. These kids are allowed to run away. It keeps the staff safe and the other children safe. But the second that they run away, they're usually brought back. Well, all the time. They are always brought back from another officer, and it adds time onto their stay there. There's no benefits to running away. It hurts them more than it benefits them. And in the book, we talked about the different levels of incarceration, like medium, maximum, and supermax. However, there's only one detention. There isn't levels of detention. It is only the one detention. So again, all the 10-year-olds to 17-year-olds are in the same classroom together. They sleep in the same rooms. I mean, there's 2 slabs to a room, and the ages vary. In jails and prisons, everyone is always segregated. They don't share the same cells or general areas unless they're in the same category with each other. They always keep them separated and only let certain ones out at a time, whether it's the upper level out at one time or the lower level, maybe the right side compared to the left side and the back wall. But none of them are all out at the same exact time. In detention, they're all out at the same time. They're all out all day. They have to go to their little activities throughout the day. They have to play games, do homework, study. They don't really allow them to take naps unless they absolutely need them. They have to stay outside of their rooms. That way they don't stay up late. Then they can get up early in the morning, get ready for school, and do well in school. They still want them to learn and keep their education going, even though they are incarcerated. This is a child's jail. One thing I thought was funny was that this detention center is a lot like my middle school. The way it looks, not so much the way they treat us. The way it looks. The halls are dark. The windows in the halls are too high. You can't see out of them. They go to classroom. They are allowed to move freely in there. And when they do that, those doors are unlocked during school hours, but that is it. Once school hours are over, those doors are locked and they are not allowed to go wandering around from room to room. When we first had walked in there, and we had to be buzzed in when Sterling met with us. We had to be buzzed in, and we were in this in-between room. And you had talked about this in class. This in-between room was scary. I mean, once those doors shut and you would kind of hear the lock, which was not as loud as I picture it's going to be in prison, but when those doors lock, the only way you can get out is if they let you out. If they don't let you out, you're not going anywhere. You are stuck there until they decide otherwise. So that sound was a little intimidating. These detention centers do work with the students / children with what they need. They are allowed their medicine if they need medicine. However, parents cannot bring medicine into the detention center. They are not allowed to exchange any medicine. If they have allergies, the parents can't bring Benadryl. It's a jail. They are in a child's jail. All in all, this was an eye-opener about the detention center. Sterling did an amazing job at answering our questions and making sure we were able to see around the facility and learn everything that we needed to know. He answered all of our questions. There was nothing left that we didn't know, didn't understand. And I think our detention centers are taking the right steps to help make our community and our community's children better. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to show you my picture.